I watched you on the PBD podcast, and you got into almost a philosophical debate with one of his co-hosts who kept presenting you, hey, why don't you just take the money, get to the power, and then change the system?
What should people follow, their money or the passion?
The truth.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. You lost the election, bro. If you followed the money,
no, it does. No,
maybe you could have won the election.
Wait.
You would have a lot better chances to do what you want to do with $100 million in the bank versus $1 million in the bank. It's not like you're some old man who's
what would I have to do to get the $100 million?
I don't know, if you would have maybe worked with the league a little bit better. You could have played in the league.
Work with the league, the shill for China, the shill for the CCP.
Yeah, but this is my point.
Godless, tyrannical regime in
I'd rather have
human history.
I'd rather have $100 million in
from
the
the
bank.
CCP.
Whatever it is.
No, it's see, and that's
I'd rather have $100 million in the bank.
That's a big problem.
And then
it's not a whatever it is.
Come out and speak out against it now.
It's not whatever it is. I'm not taking $100 million from Satan for him to trick me into thinking I'm speaking out against him. Like the whole regime. They're all openly anti-God. They're not even hiding it.
Well, first and foremost, I think he was mistaken, on the premise of how power and leverage and ethics and honor and righteousness really work, and that doesn't surprise me because I don't know Adam. I think his name is Adam. I don't know Adam to be a very religious man. Anyway, I think he's Jewish if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know him to be a very religious man personally. I don't know him that well, but I don't know him to be that. So I think he struggles with the concept fundamentally. And first of all, just from his perspective, from a more strategic standpoint, leverage is an action word. It's a word that you have to use. You have to be willing to use in order for it to mean anything. If you don't use leverage, you don't really have it. To think that you could sell your soul and along the way not lose the courage and motivation to use whatever perceived leverage you have is a grave mistake. It's one that people often make in Washington, D.C. and in the corporate world or anywhere else in our society. They think, hey, when I get the money, then I'll be able to flip a switch and just start doing the right thing. That proves to be very difficult, usually in our society today, because along that path, people are tracking you. Our society has a way of not allowing individuals to rise to a level of influence without making sure that they'll play ball. Right. In Washington, D.C., they call that the steady hands. Right, a pair of steady hands is a person who will forego the moral and ethical consideration in the interest of the status quo. And there are a lot of steady hands in Washington, D.C. And there are a lot of people trying to break into Washington, D.C. who the deep state already knows aren't going to be steady hands. They're not going to play like nice. These are the people that don't get funding. So, again, and for the NBA example, let's say I had foregone the argument about mental health. When China came up, when the LGBTQ came up, when the vaccine came up, I would have been blackballed for all of those as well. Mm-hmm. So you see how there's a trajectory there where if you want to speak the truth, and if you speak the truth from day one, you have set yourself on a course to encounter the wickedness and evil of the institution, the spirit of the institution all along your journey. And that's kind of that's what makes heroes heroes. You're signing up for that. You're saying, hey, I know the NBA is I got a son coming up. He's 14 years old. He wants to play in the NBA. You think it's going to be easy for him? I'd say not. I'd say he's going to have to be so much better than the best guy. It looks almost intentional that they don't give him an opportunity. And I tell him that every day. It's like, hey, man, you got to realize I went against one of the most influential institutions in the entire world, and I was vindicated. I was found to be right. Not only has the mental health crisis exploded worldwide, it exploded in the NBA specifically. And now it's been twisted and perverted. And that's my own, kind of regret is that I wasn't wise enough at 21 years old to see that mental health would be used, like many other things are, as a sort of catch-all phrase to justify, two-spirit LGBTQ transgender, academia. I didn't realize that. That wasn't even on my radar because at the time I didn't even know what transgender was. The trans wasn't even a thing when I was 21 years old. But that certainly has happened. So now I feel kind of, regretful in some sense that mental health was, an issue that was ignored, and then it was absorbed, and then it was twisted, and now it's being used as a weapon. And that's how a lot of things are being used in society, right?